Hey, hey, it's Devlin. Got something for your consideration today. I know I said a lot of things about these freaks in the past. I somewhat leave the definition to them on what they are and who they are to some mystery, because it's a broad spectrum of autism and mental deficiency out there that is lambasting us all the time. That's because if they know you're targeting them, thanks to the internet these days, they can kind of, glom together and go against you. Thankfully, I'm anonymous. That's why I made this channel. To talk all the shit I can so that other people can be helped in this way that will make it to where they can spot these freaks when they see them and throw them right the hell out. Because that's where they belong. Oh, nice spot. Let's go to the Diamonds Resort first. See if we can get ourselves a free whatever they have for us at the casino. Yeah. No, it's Charlie Reed. That's the Ellis Carmi. The DEI hired feminist lunatics, and the non-merit-based pandering these cut-corner commie profiteers try to force-feed into their programs or products. And I also detailed how you know the moment you see something they have crafted or made or written. It's going to be what I point out the most here. Well, actually, I have an example. Rather subtle one. In regards to the adult animated sitcom American Dad by the terminally liberal F3mc3l. Very sad guy. Everyone knows. Very sad. Seth MacFarlane, very funny, very creative, very sad, like most liberals. Okay. Where am I? It's the Diamond Resort. What? I come out here. Is that Diamond Resort right there? This game's getting more and more tedious as the years go by. You just go through the door. But yeah. Good old American Dad. Normally I could really give two damns about this dumb need to be a sneering libtard that tries his best to use a show to ingratiate himself to the leftist freaks to ensure his animated show can get on air or be aired anywhere, because they're the gatekeepers when it comes to that, and they've shown that's simply the way of things. Shut up, Lester. And by ingratiating, I mean via doing his best to not include any favorable nod or any mention towards conservatism or the Republican Party in any way, by a joke or otherwise, and thus contributing to the ridiculous holy narrative these sheepy little chunders all worship. It's like doctrine to them, but then again, that's atypical cult behavior when you think about it. Subversive playbook kind of stuff, number 1 or 2. You know, maybe he's not the one behind these ideas. You know, maybe he's got a quota he has to, like I said, adhere to, or he simply does not get funding. What if they do that? Like the special funding bills they send to like all the different state programs, they send it to entertainment as well. You could do it for religion too. Who knows? Oopsie doopsie.
Back the fuck off before I call the cops. Fuck this! I'm calling the police. Oh my God! What's that? No way. Jesus.
The example in question. As a case study, we'll go with season 17, episode 12, Smushed. A love story.
Lucky escape.
The Diamond Casino and Resort presents a brand new car available to win today, simply with the spin of a wheel.
Spin it up. Get in line, spin. What is your deal? What retardation was that? Oh my God. Spin. Yeah. Tell me you've hired all the actual talent from your dumb studio without telling me. Alright, let's put a waypoint down. I'll go, Sandy Shores up here. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, Smushed. Smushed is a special one. Very special. Because it,
Remember, it's how you use it that counts.
it gives us a real good look. So many things are in the way. You notice that about these games? Whatever they can do, just to be in the way. It's how they hide the garbage, like load times and pop-in that they have. They do everything they can to stop you from going fast, so they don't have to up the processing. They also try all this smoke and mirrors on the speed and stuff. But anyways, right. Grand Theft Auto 5 showed us everything about these losers running the business.
The cab should be with you very soon.
Alright. A character they insert ham-fistedly into this episode.
Where are we heading?
Ham-fisted as hell.
All right, I'll get you there.
And it's a plot surrounding Steve Smith. It's so unnatural how they put it in there. And this is a cartoon, so it's already kind of unnatural because of all the crazy stuff they can do. To be able to make it unnatural seeming in American Dad. That's a feat. That's a feat of incompetence I've never seen. It was like it was an arranged marriage between a donkey and a walrus. Just, just dumb. The character we are going to observe, yeah, Allie. The quirky paint coat over the basic bent character that only a nipple-headed femcel would think was amusing. Alley, which is a place hobos both defecate and consummate in, as it turns out. You see, Alley is a nihilistic lump of cells in the shape of a female that eventually Steve has to settle for in this A-plot, in spite of her many weirdo prompts that the overpaid dummies put on her in an attempt to make her stand out. Be so special, you know, guys? First it starts at her dead fox coat she is wearing to remind her of her dead grandma, which she says unprompted before she even introduces herself. I know this is a cartoon character, that's crazy, but let's look a little deeper. She says that the weird dead fox coat is vintage. Gross hipster talk. Wonderful. And is 6 years old. Second, we zoom in to her deadpan sociopathic self-invitation dry dialogue starting from the dead fox coat. And we see a character that is eating ghost peppers like chips out of a sandwich bag. It's clear you're here to lecture Steve on how wrong he is to care about, I guess, anything at all. She has some deep wisdom to share with us all. I don't know, let's see. She has a blouse, white jeans, little gold pendant, hair clip on both sides, highly detailed hair, more detailed than Steve's. It appears to be an Asian of some sort. Ellie declares her grandmother is her best friend and everything is pointless, and she's in an open relationship that she can't handle. And when he's faced with it, she starts sniveling, and Steve has to eat some crazy pepper to get her out of the restaurant because she is too dumb to leave out of embarrassment that she got duped into this relationship, as she spots her boyfriend making out with some stranger via Steve commenting on it. So this idiotic character is too busy trying to fake this nihilism to leave, instead choosing to pretend that nothing matters. Let's not forget all these special details on this character I mentioned. I mentioned them all. She's actually way more detailed than nearly everyone besides the crazy characters that are in a costume, and way outshines Steve himself with their gross, quirky design. Yeah, I mentioned them for a reason. Imagine a child, right? This is Inception here. Imagine a child. Anybody who's raised one can get with me here. They want you to do something specific, this child. So they will grill you to see how important they are to you in response to how directly you answered every request. A simple-minded child's game. Stick with me. So they'll ask for specific dumb things to ensure they are being listened to, often making you bend so far backwards that it isn't worth pandering to their request. They're just kids, though. Now imagine that child being raised by weak millennials from California. And they, now mind you, too dumb to know their actual gender due to their parents not being competent, they grew up and became a Family Guy writer and American Dad writer, thanks to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You see, they weren't merit hired. But see, they know they aren't supposed to be here, and as a result, they're trying to get relevant and need to prove they can do a thing, literally anything. So they cook up this character that is way too different to even be human because they need to make sure it was their idea, they can recognize it. Like a child, they insist it has to be done their way. Yes, they never truly grow or mature in any way, and I guarantee this mutant we are hypothetically constructing is a femcel. I would also bet on it. I would bet on it. You see, Allie lambasts Steve on any end, everything she can to be marginalizing because she's immature and clearly very insecure and needs him for an emotional chew toy for validation. Sound familiar? She makes fun of him having a map, keeping track of things with notes, caring literally about anything. You see, this Allie character is a product of these brain-rotted femcel losers. Immature. She lacks accountability. Prefers to ridicule on a false premise as a soapbox. They lie to themselves and have literally no tonal inflection or discernible personality. She begins and ends on her weirdo, quirky design. Just so the clearly musty, Gordy femcel that made her could stop inhaling her pumpkin soy latte and point her gross yeasty claw at the screen and say, "Baby made that. Baby smart. Baby wicked smart. Baby gets listened to now and you gotta deal with it." That may be the beginning and end of it. That may be the whole reason that Allie's there. She was made different and special for that reason. I almost guarantee it. The studio clearly made the entire plot around her non-existent sentience. She is literally always with a bag of peppers, clinging to it like she is a tryhard, trying to prove they are something of note beyond being a complete burdensome tumor on the species known as humanity. That has brought nothing to anything they've ever done. I know I've been reading a lot into this, but you need to understand that people like feminists who have killed more infants than the 1920s to 40s era Deutsche IOS has killed Semitic Arabs, and are now nearly tying the concept of communism as a political despotic power in the sheer human cost of life because they are reportedly too important to raise kids, yet are too dumb to use contraceptives or self-discipline. Allie gets Steve to fall for her because she's second best. Well, actually, they're not even fourth best. Then shows up later to dump him because she's a sociopathic human skid mark. And it takes Steven nearly getting bisected to get her to begrudgingly admit he matters to her at all. So yeah, that's the Allie story arc. This character is only funny in the mind of someone who has no idea what comedy is, like some alien. It just doesn't understand, or you can't hear. It wouldn't be able to understand language, let alone the comedy behind language. And clearly this freak who pushed her doesn't even understand how to human write. Like, again, an alien. This character all the way to the end. She gets this dumb Crimson and Clover guitar string every time she does something like she's so deep, too. Can I simply ask a question? How the hell did this dumb story get through the actual writers? Or are all of them gone now to make way for these talentless scumbags? It wasn't funny. It was funny to someone who was too insipid to conceptualize what humor is. It wasn't deep. It was shallow and pedantic and pointless as a liberal arts degree clearly is from this episode's entry allowed into the American Dad show. Usually I can ignore most of the reeking libtarding in these kind of shows because they're just tunes and you can overlook things. And truth be told, I find their skewed take on Republicans kind of funny. Like when that bear was recorded whacking itself in the nuts. Funny, poor stupid bear. It is clearly a danger to itself as it is to others. Sad. Very sad, but funny at least. But the character Allie is absolutely disgusting fundamentally. And the femcels self-insert into any relevancy they can get their gross, mincy, stained sausage fingers on and cling to it as if to pee on the IP to mark their territory like a dog in rut to force their reprehensive, filthy stink into our world in any pathetic way they can. The entire episode was utterly dumb, barely had any sort of humor or path in it. This is a B-team entry, and I think the writers over at Seth MacFarlane's studio need to lose a massive amount of chromosomes out of the pitch room, or they'll end up just as lame as the Star Wars Holiday Special. Never go woke. Everything woke turns to trash because the woke are trash to your humanness.
Here we are.
They're just trash tier humans. They make me want to reevaluate the very concept of sentience in humanity, and make us as a species just force us to entertain the idea that not every human might be self-aware or even properly cognizant to have a conscience we would be able to qualify as such. Anyways, make sure these freaks are thrown out wherever you see them. You're the true waste our species produces as humans. They will not take responsibility for themselves, so we must make the choices soon about them. Have a great night.